Welcome back, folks, to Dare Tell, where you get to tell your truth and you can remain anonymous or you can use your name. It doesn't matter to me, just as long as you give me permission to tell your story. Email your true story, no matter what it is, into mecalgal@gmail.com, and I'll give you the rest at the end. I also want to give credit where credit's due to a gentleman named Kevin Lake. He goes by Crazy Lake. The reason I'm doing some of these stories, I got it from him. I'm not trying to be a copycat. I have another channel as well called Loving and Living Maine. He has a channel called Homesteading Today, which really doesn't have anything to do with homesteading. It has to do with his biggest focus is Bigfoot Sasquatch, which I want your stories about that as well. But I also encourage you to write into him first and foremost because he was definitely here before me. But I want your stories. I want to share your stories. It really does help. I have a master's degree in human behavior, and when you're able to get something off your chest, it helps your psyche. It helps you get on with life. It makes your day a little bit brighter and your steps a little lighter. So, with that being said, today's story is not about Bigfoot Sasquatch. It's not about UFOs. It's not about ghosts. It's not about guardian angels. It's not about near-death experiences. And it's not about an out-of-body experience. I do hear somebody wandering around over there or something. And I'm getting attacked by mosquitoes. So, I mean, I am in the woods and my dog's kicking things up. But this story is from Karen. Karen, I read your story, and I have a disclaimer here. Karen, if you're watching this and you know me personally, then this story is not about you. I promise. I know a couple of Karens in life, and these are not. This is not about that person. It's not from those people. This is not about you. Even if some of it might sound familiar, if you heard the whole story, then you'd know it wasn't you. And you're going to know anyway. And it's not. I'm just making that clear right now. I got bit by mosquitoes. I can't read the full story because when I proofread it, it was an hour and 58 minutes was the shortest time I could read it in. I want to shoot that mosquito so bad. It's sitting right on top of my phone. So Karen, or people out there, if you guys want to hear the story, I'm more than happy to read it, but I need to do it in parts. And you guys, I'm afraid I'll lose viewers. I think they'll get bored, so you're going to have to let me know. Yeah, I want to hear the whole story. Okay. So Karen had the love of her life. This didn't start just in college. It went back to high school. They did go to college together. High school, junior high, grade school, hometown. If you believe in soulmates, then they would be it. That's what Karen believes. They were soulmates. I personally don't believe in soulmates. I believe that we're in soul groups and that it's all planned out ahead of time when we come here, that it's not going to be heavenly here because if we wanted everything perfect, it'd be in heaven. So the experiences that we have here that are painful, well, we're all kind of part of the plan, right? Because if it was perfect here, we'd be in heaven instead of here on earth, and we're on earth. So anyway, these two, they were together for as long as from day one. They weren't always boyfriend and girlfriend. They played together as kids. They were on the debate team together in college. They did all these different things together. They did date through high school. They dated a little bit in junior high, what they were allowed to do. So they both came from a fairly religious background. So they took things really slow, and they got married and they decided to be committed to each other. Now that's the difference between being committed to each other and, say, an open marriage or not even getting married at all. Or, here's the deal. They were married, they had children, and he decided to cheat. And it hurt her, it devastated her. And it wasn't just the cheating, there was alcohol involved. He was alcoholic, and that was when the cheating was done. And it devastated her, not only her her kids, her grandchildren, and it's going to go on for generations because they divorced. And now, so I'll tell you like one of the things that happened that she found out about. First of all, folks, when you suspect your partner's cheating, there's a good chance that they are. I mean, it's just human nature to have a little bit of instinct. And when things are happening, like in her case, it goes back to where they had landlines and somebody would call and hang up if she answered the phone. And then later on, when cell phones first appeared, before deleting or before learning all the technology, she saw messages and pictures on the phone. And it wasn't just one female, it was more than one female. And it just devastated her. Now, what really hurt her more was when there was men involved too. And that cheating led to disease, and that disease was AIDS. And now Karen is battling AIDS along with other diseases that she got because they were sexually transmitted diseases. So here Karen stayed faithful her entire marriage. She didn't want to leave him because they built up so much together. They had a company together that had to do with printing logos and like t-shirts and banners and things like that. And they were involved with schools. They were involved with government. He thrived. He was very successful. So was she. But she was also in politics a little bit, very local politics. And she just didn't want the scandal. So she put up with so much. But it was the knife in the chest that got to her the most. It was just, I'm not supposed to say those words, I guess, on YouTube. It hurt so bad that she couldn't trust. She couldn't trust him. She couldn't trust anybody. And you can't blame her because it was so painful. So Karen, I recognize your tears. I felt your tears that she expressed in her letter that she cried so hard one time that she almost fainted. Like she just nearly passed out because the pain was so bad, so strong that she cried so hard that it brought her to her knees and she was lightheaded and she just collapsed. Because everything around her, her whole world, the man that she trusted and loved, it was devastating. Now, there might be some people out there thinking, oh, it's just sex. So what? Get over it. And it's not just sex, sweetheart. It's cheating. It's the lies. It's the deception. It's the trust that's been shattered. Just shattered. How do you put back together a window that's been shattered? You don't. You have to replace it. And that's what they ended up doing. They divorced, and it ended her career in politics. Even though she was the good one, she was still the female, so it was already a struggle. So then to her and to people around her, it must have been something that she did or didn't do. Almost, not even almost, justifying the fact that he had extramarital affairs. It destroyed their business. It destroyed their family for sure. Her kids, one was in college, ended up dropping out. It's hard for me to wrap my head around that one because I am from a divorced family, more than one divorce, and I've been divorced, and I know how it affects the kids. Once you're at college level, you're an adult, and I hope that if you're in college right now and you're going through something like this, don't let what your parents or anybody or your partner, don't let anybody else affect your college career or your job or your choice in life, or even if you shouldn't be in high school because this is for adults only. Um, Try your best not to allow it to affect you. You need to get on with your life. That was their choices, their mistakes, not yours. Yes, now you're going to go to Thanksgiving at two different homes. And Karen goes on to explain how difficult that was, how sharing the holidays was so difficult, how deciding who's going to pay for, one child's education or their vehicles or their clothing, and just there's 401ks. There's just so much that is destroyed because of sex. Really? You couldn't just make it work with your wife or your husband? I mean, honestly, it's just not worth it. And he didn't even end up with any of these people. It was just something in him that was broken. So when you're broken and you feel like you need to do something like that, when you have a problem with alcohol or drugs, you need to get help, get counseling. And you're not going to find it having sexual relations with somebody else. That's just not going to be the answer. Might be fun for a moment, but it's not the answer. So this one was kind of a sad one, and I didn't do her stories justice, and I'm so justice. Yes, that's the word. I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes out here because my dog kicked them up, but and I probably kicked up a few myself. But folks, if you have any questions, just email me or put them in the comments. If you want to hear her full story, I'll start it. I'll start reading it. If you want to tell your own story, I need you guys to keep your stories to read it out loud yourself. I'll read for like 15 minutes. So I don't know how many words that is. I think Crazy Lake said something like keep it at 1,000 words or 2,000 words. I can't remember. It was, difficult, even though I've heard him read more, and he can read more, and so can I. But keep your story, like if you're reading it out loud, it's about 15 minutes, and I will share it. And it could be about anything. I don't know. This channel might turn into a channel that has to do with infidelity and cheating and pain and things along those lines, and the devastation that it does to somebody. Oh, she mentions now that how when she walks by her husband, that if he switches off his cell phone real quick, she's suspicious. If he gets up in the middle of the night, and this is not even the same husband, folks, so this is what it does to you. It devastates you. And here's what it does to your kids. So when you think you're just cheating on your wife or you're just having fun, it's been statistically proven that, daughters and sons don't trust, they have trust issues from there on out too. So they have daddy issues if they're girls. They end up being with bad boys or the wrong person. People that you don't really want to, everybody wants their child to grow up to be a very healthy, successful, well-balanced person in life, right? We all want that for our children. So think about that before some of the choices that you make. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because I'm not. I'm just sharing some stories, and just know that that trust is broken, but it's not just broken during that marriage, it's shattered forever. So if it happens early in life, it's really, really hard to get past it. And I can honestly say I'm speaking from experience also. Karen told a lot of my story, or I could be telling a lot of Karen's story, and chances are it's a lot of your story. And I mean, especially if you've hung in there this long with this taping, which is just getting out about 15 minutes. So, all right, folks, if you want to add to it in the comments. Share what you want to share. Otherwise, if you want to share more, you have something else to tell. MeCalGal, MECALGAL at gmail.com. And I have a call coming in. Be sure to email me. Definitely subscribe. Hit the like button, leave messages, do whatever you can. Let's keep this rolling, folks. All right, you guys have a good one. Bye.